Company E, 75th Infantry Ranger, 9th Infantry Division. The 9th Infantry Division was the only major U.S. Army unit to operate in the Mekong Delta during the Vietnam War. Faced with a hostile environment unlike anything they had trained for back in the States, the infantrymen of the 9th Division were forced to develop new techniques to carry on operations within the watery world of the Delta. Like its parent organization, the division's long-range patrol unit, Company E, 75th Infantry Ranger, had to adapt to operate inside the swamps and along the canals and rivers that crisscrossed the area. The predecessor of the division's Ranger unit, E Company, 50th Infantry LRP, had pioneered a concept that proved especially effective in meeting and defeating the enemy on his own terms. Parakeet flights were aerial combat raids consisting of a Huey Slick carrying a 6- or 7-man contingent of Army Rangers, a Cobra gunship, and a LOH, pronounced Loach, scout helicopter. The job of the Loach was to fly around at treetop level until it located enemy troops or emplacements. Then, pinpointing the location by dropping smoke grenades or directing tracer fire on the target, the Loach stood back while the Huey Slick moved in to launch its Ranger element as close to the enemy as possible. The Cobra gunship orbited nearby to support the ground forces with rockets, miniguns, and 40mm grenade fire. The entire operation was based on catching the enemy by surprise and hitting them before they could flee or mount a defense. When it worked very well. But when it didn't, the frequently outnumbered Rangers often found themselves in the middle of an angry hornet's nest. On the morning of 12 June 1969, Captain Al Zapata, the commanding officer of Company E based at Tanan, approached Sergeant First Class Jimmy Booth and told him that he needed him to fly CNC on a Parakeet flight later that morning. Sheepishly, Zapata admitted that he had been drinking with a Navy SEAL officer the night before and had gotten a little carried away swapping boasts with the swabby. The Ranger CO smirked when he said, "Sergeant Booth, let's get some action for this guy. Let's show this SEAL lieutenant what Rangers can do." Booth returned the officer's smile and said, "Can do, sir." While Sergeant First Class Booth left to make arrangements with the aviation unit, Captain Zapata went to look for Staff Sergeant Jim Thayer and his boys to fill out the Ranger team. Zapata had already decided that he would lead the ground element himself, and he had invited the SEAL officer along to observe the operation. He quickly located Thayer and asked the NCO if he would like to go out on a Ranger raid. When Thayer said yes, Zapata told him to select 3 men from his Ranger Team 1-1. With Zapata, his RTO, and the SEAL lieutenant already in on the raid, there would be room for only 4 others.